Alright, so this is an introduction to complex numbers. What we're going to do with our notebook is we're going to make tabs, because this whole unit is going to go into tabs. So what you're going to do is pretty much just cut across the first page all the way across the margin, all the way down. That's the first page. The second page, you're going to, where the first line starts, you're going to cut to the margin and then all the way down. So we've done this before, so there shouldn't be anything new. So I'm just drawing it out so that you can see it, because if I cut, you won't see it. So just cut to the margin and then all the way down. So it looks like this. So if I put the first page and the second page together, you see how that is? So you see I've made a tab. So the first page is nothing, on the second page there's one tab. Then you're going to count, I don't know, do 5 lines. Okay, then you're going to repeat that same process. So to the margin and then all the way down. Again, I'm only drawing the line so that you can see where I'm cutting, but you don't have to. You can just cut right away, and you can use scissors or a ruler. So you see, once I put my 3 pages today, first page has got a tab, second page has a tab, and third page has that tab. And we're going to repeat this process all the way down. So just do 5 lines all the way down, and I think your last one will have 4. So you should end up with 6 tabs, and then the first page has no tab at all. You should end up with 6 tabs, then the first page has no tabs at all. If you can see that tabs is a good place to copy them down, but we're on the introduction, so copy the first paragraph, and then the second paragraph, you see, it's going to take half the page. So you're going to move it as far left, because on that on the right hand side and at the bottom are going to go your examples. Alright, now if you want to use the left hand side of the paper, you're more than welcome to. So again, pause the video and copy that down. Pause the video and copy that down. You cannot take the even root of a negative number. This way imaginary numbers happen. So what you're going to do, separate the negative inside to its own square root. So you're going to have radical negative 1, and then that's going to leave radical 9. Radical negative 1 is equal to I, and you're going to replace it with your I. Then you can break down 9 as normal and take out books. So it's going to be 3 times 3, that's a book of 3. And nothing's left inside the radical. This is a listening check. Go ahead and color in those 2 3s that we've circled. Color in those 2 3s that we've circled. So make sure that you put the number before the I. Don't forget to replace I squared with 1 if there is 1. So it's not here. So 2 important things is, you cannot take the square root of a negative number. So we're going to replace it with I. And if you ever have I squared, that's also equal to 1. So let's take a look at another example. So let's say we had negative radical negative 18. Again, separate the negative to its own square root. So we're going to have negative outside, then negative radical 1, and positive radical 18. Alright, break down the positive into books. So we're going to break down 18. 18 breaks down to 9 times 2, which breaks down to 3 times 3. So remember, the radical of negative 1 equals our imaginary number. So we're going to replace it with the letter I, our imaginary number. And then that's going to be 2 times 3 times 3. What do you see? A book of 3. Take that outside. And remember, you're going to put this before the I. So 3I, and then we have radical 2. Alright, so don't forget to replace I squared with 1 if it's in the answer. Is I squared in there? No. So that's my final answer. This is a listening check. Color in that answer box. Only that answer box. Don't color it in any other example, just the negative 3I radical 2. So again, we're going to separate the negative from it. So this is going to be negative radical 1, radical 3, negative radical 1, and positive radical 5. Alright, replace radical negative 1 with I. So I'm just going to write it out with I. The listening check. Underline example 3. Underline example 3. Alright, break down positives. There's nothing to break down. Simplify. Alright, so let's put the i's together. I times I is I squared. And then what do you do with radicals? We put them all on the same radical. Any books? Nope. So that's what I have. Don't forget to replace I squared with 1. See, there's an I squared there, because I squared is equal to 1, or the radical of a negative 1 is equal to I. So 1 times radical 15 is 15. So radical 15, sorry. So that's going to be a really big thing. Make sure you look at your answer and make sure there's no I squared, because I squared is equal to 1. Let's take a look at one final example. Again, it's very simple. Separate the negative to itself, so radical -1 and radical 125. Break down the positive and replace the I with that radical -1. So it's going to be I, and then we're going to break down 125. 125 is going to break down to 5 times 25, which is 5 times 5. So we can take out a book of 5s. This is a listening check, shading that box with 125, shading the box with 125. And so we're going to take out a book of 5s, and remember, put it in front of the I. So that's going to be 5I, radical 5 over radical 5. What do you see top and bottom? Radical 5. So we can do that. Cancel that. So it's going to be 5I. Do you see an I squared in the answer? No. So we're okay. So that's our final answer.